Yeah.
Well, I guess we can call the meeting to order. First thing is, stand and say the pledge of allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everybody. Okay, approval of the agenda. Any additions, corrections? I'll have a few extra things under miscellaneous. Approved. Someone a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Okay. Do we have to close this one and open the truth and taxation, or we just jump into the truth and taxation?
I think you need to open and close.
I think so, don't
I think you're right.
So somebody want to close the regular council meeting,
Suspended, I think.
or do we suspend it for
Yeah, I think you might.
15 minutes?
I think so.
Somebody want to make a motion?
So move.
Someone a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, I'd like to open up the truth and taxation hearing meeting. Floor is open to residents for comments and concerns. Anybody got comments on their taxes?
Guys. Concerned. My Main Street Bank. Took a 37% increase in the city portion of the property taxes.
Holy cow.
Went up $541 that year. And that is a big concern of mine, because it's,
Yeah.
Can we back up a second? I think I was gone in the month of October. I know I was gone. Is that when you guys submitted something to the county at like 2%, 3%? What did we submit?
I'd increase it. No.
Not at all.
No, we
Zero,
decided-
zero from the beginning.
Correct,
Okay,
yes.
so see, that's what I can't understand either. Here's my house taxes. Last year, they were $2,938 a half. Now they went up to $3,089 and the city went up nothing. Tom, you were down there and nobody can figure out how that is. In my house went up 2.37.
The county portion of it went up.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the city.
Just the city alone.
The city should not go up if we don't go up, should it? How can they do that when we've, as a council, proposed zero increase, but yet it still goes up on our taxes?
and another thing I don't understand is I'm just here regarding commercial property.
Yep.
It's all across the board here. I mean, I've got I've got all the commercial properties in town here, and the highest, believe it or not, went up 38%.
How can that be? Because my main shop went up for the city. It went from 35.67 to 42.94. And then it went up 15.77.
$700.
And
Yep.
that's
And we raised zero.
and that's a 20% increase for you from last year.
15.77, it says, on the one set of buildings.
Well, that includes everything though, isn't that including
Yeah,
that 1577 is the percentage for Blue Earth County and the school and
Yeah.
everything. But your city portion, if you figure that out, is a 20% increase just on your city portion.
see, and then a question, these levies that are approved for the school. Well, that's pretty much a referendum, right? To
Mhm.
build the building.
Mhm.
And the operating levy is this, obviously, this other levies is an operating levy that was carried over through. Well, that's already set. That dollar amount is set. So why does that keep going up each year too? If you went out and bonded for just say that school, $60 million, and you schedule that out over the next 20 years, that should never change, should it?
It can,
Pardon?
it can.
Oh, I know it can, but it shouldn't.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Well,
Well, I
It all
think
depends on valuation and what drops in and
Yeah,
what
but-
drops out, you
they-
know.
they can put, there was something like if this was approved, there was not anything set in stone that they couldn't come back the next year and say, oh, well, I guess we need more. There wasn't anything that said they couldn't do that. So I'm sure that's what they're doing.
But how about that other levy that obviously was an operating levy or an old levy? How can, yeah, that should be set in stone. But it
But-
keeps going up each year.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the business is going up so high here. Apparently, there's something changed in the. I mean, the city did not ask for any more money,
Yep.
so that's locked. So how that money was paid changed. You know, somebody's property went way down in tax. Mine didn't. Mine went up a little bit, but it was just a little bit. But I mean, somebody's went way down. You know what I'm saying? So they're not-
Commercial or residential,
Or both.
or both.
Any, you know, because it's all one pot. They all divided up, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So everybody's got to pay toward the pot. And so apparently there's got to be property in town that really decreased or dropped off completely. You know,
What value did they put on your bank down there? Did they raise that?
Oh, yeah. That went up 20%. It went from 104 to 125.2, which is a 21.2 increase, which is 20%.
You should make the appeal with the accounting.
Trust me.
Well, you have- okay, because I've always wanted to, I've never had the guts to, but like my property always increases a lot too.
Yeah.
But you know, with Good Thunder, we don't have any or many amenities. There's no reason why our property tax should keep, I feel like, should keep going up comparable to Mankato's or, you know, anywhere else. So I've always wanted to appeal it with the county, but I never have. So you have.
You know, I've been down that road with the county and it's like up against a brick wall.
Tom went down there years ago and tried to get that formula explained to
Yeah,
him.
somebody could just,
And he come back confused and is still confused. But again, the city's portion, I don't see how that can be. When we go up 0, we are watching out for the citizens of Good Thunder, going up 0% and we spend more money. Or we gotta pay
Yeah.
more money.
that's what I'm saying. Something changed.
what's
in the-
funny too is like, I pulled up the school.
Yeah,
And the value of the school actually went down $5,500 in value.
Yeah,
Which is a 2% decrease. But their city taxes went up by 12%.
Hmm.
Went up $434 from last year. Which I'm surprised.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I'm glad his taxes went down because that's a big deal over there, but, you know, like. I'm really surprised we got Linda in here, but like Dick's Locker, went up by 36%. For a small business like that, you guys, that's bad. Thunder Restaurant, 35%. Protein Sources, 21%. You already said yours, Robert. Street Machines went up 20%.
oh, okay.
Barrel Gas only went up by 16. They were the lowest.
They don't have nothing on it.
Hell, there's nothing there.
Brett Winters went up by 16%. So, you know, without my business even being in there, I mean, I'm hoping to open up next year again, but. I tell you, that's a lot.
And
That
it's
is a lot.
through the county. We did 0. We submitted 0. We're staying at 0 tonight because we can't raise it tonight. We could have lowered it, say we put in 5%. And a bunch of people come and made noise because their taxes went up. So we put in 0, stayed at 0, and your taxes still went up for the city good.
And I talked to Blue Earth County about that and they're like, take it up with the city of Good Thunder. That's their baby. You know,
Yeah,
and nobody, you know, and I'm not upset with you guys at all about this. It's just that. You know,
Nobody can blame the council because we went up 0.
no, exactly. And if somebody could just get to the bottom of how this happens. Because I'm still trying to get a business to come in to rent my space over there.
That's right.
And the other thing is, you know, if the taxes keep going up like this, I have to raise my rents for my renters. It's gonna be harder to find, renters that are gonna wanna come out here. It's gonna cause, once the school gets done over there, that's gonna be affordable housing. If his taxes keep going up, he's gonna have to raise his rent and it's not gonna be affordable for very long.
Well, they appealed last year, I remember,
Yeah,
because
it was an astronomical.
it was like 36,000.
Yeah, it was a
for the
very big
year.
chunk of money. And we don't know if he ever paid that much.
Yeah,
I think he
I know he was appealing. He had gotten some big
Yeah.
tax attorney.
But
He won that.
I don't
There-
think there's anybody up here can explain how this all works.
Is there anything that we can give her in writing that she could take to the county that said that we submitted zero or anything like that, or?
Yeah, right here. This proposal tonight says right here, 0 for increase proposed.
How much of the increase do you think is because of your, the value of your property? You said the value of your property went up too?
Yes, yep, and
I wonder-
that city tax is based on the increase,
The thing,
in value.
Cause that's the part that you should call and say, you can appeal, because I know people that have appealed that. And they'll have someone come out and they'll relook at your property or whatever, and I know people that have gotten it to go down because the appraisers have come out and they're like, oh, it is crappier than we thought. They've just done some automated valuations. They've never actually taken the time to like look per place or whatever. So I know some people that it has worked out for. Like I said, I've never had the guts to do it, but
Yeah, because I'm noticing, there's a percentage based on the increase. Like one here went up 5%, it was 20% increase in the value.
I got my envelope and there wasn't a letter in there.
Your red iron went up, had a 2% increase in value and went up by 17%.
I didn't even look at that one.
Yeah,
because I'd be curious to see what they're comparing these businesses to make the value.
exactly. But I have been on the phone, I can't just tell you how many countless times, and nobody will give me a straight answer on anything. And it's just, if they can explain it to me so I can understand the reason why I'm, now have to go back and raise my rents again.
Mhm.
It's just, it's frustrating.
Mhm.
It is.
And a $541 just city tax increase
Right.
on that property, that just has 2 apartments and a salon in it, God, I'm afraid to open my business because then they'll probably really raise it again. But,
Tried reaching out to Kevin Papp, maybe to see if he can point you in the right direction.
yeah,
Yeah, he's the county commissioner for Good Thunder.
So what would have happened if we'd have put in a 10 or 12% increase here? I mean, we put in a 0 and it goes up.
right, to get the money they need from their city. And sooner or later, you're probably gonna have to do that. Things are gonna happen. We're gonna need new stuff. It's gonna happen. But I'm just afraid we're gonna, it's gonna be hard to bring people out here to live
Right.
in such a small town that really doesn't have that much to offer. So, I mean,
No, it's very frustrating when the city or a council works on this to go up 0% and it goes up that kind of money.
yeah.
That's just totally wrong.
And I don't wanna hold you guys up anymore, but I'm just really surprised I'm the only one here.
I'll call Kevin Pat too, just out of curiosity, but if you find something out, will you let me know too? Because it'd be good to know. But we have answers if anybody else does come in and ask why we put in 0, but it,
And I know the thing that they're gonna throw at me now is you missed the December 3rd meeting for
oh,
Blue Earth County. A couple years back, I had an issue and, you should have came to the, now you can't do anything for another year, and they don't budge on that.
mhm.
Well, I'm
They're
sure.
very,
Didn't they used to put percentage of change right on this line too?
Mhm.
And they don't do that and we're just down here at the
Yeah.
bottom.
and that one at the bottom is for everything combined.
Yep, yep. But it used to have the percentages per school.
Yep.
For county, for Good Thunder. Yep,
You read that on the top, it says proposed though.
yeah,
These were probably generated before they actually had our letter of
Yeah, and I
telling
talked
us
to them about
0.
that too, Scott,
Mhm.
and the last gal that I talked to said this is pretty much what they're going off of.
Yeah,
The
no, I
only
think
thing
so,
these didn't
yeah,
have on the proposed was the assessments. On these statements that they sent, did not include any
Right.
assessments. So anything they'll probably change is when the real ones come out that we have to pay, we'll have any assessments on them, any
right,
additional. So,
right,
So did the council vote last year 0% as well? or-
yeah.
Yep, yep.
That's what's so, hard to understand. So apparently, we asked for, what was our levy? $391,
Here you go, Tom.
278. No, $391, 278.
Where these come from?
But they call.
So in order to gain that $391, 278,
Right.
like her taxes went up 30%.
Very nice.
Yeah, for us, yeah.
That's quite a bit. Your taxes went up 15% or whatever it was. I don't remember.
How can it change that much though?
I mean, there's gotta be properties in town that drop out the tax roll. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is paying as much or at all. So since we asked for the same as last year, that has to be made up from everybody else.
You know,
But that's just for the city's portion. I mean,
That's just the city's portion.
but Blue Earth County still is collecting their portion.
Yeah,
do you remember when the land north of town, they wanted that to be lowered?
yeah.
And
they'll pay
what, how did that go?
$21.
There was a guy from the county said, well, if that was lowered, the county would make it in so Good Thunder wouldn't lose any money coming in. So they robbed Peter, pay Paul, and to keep it all even, Steven.
Yeah, I don't think that was true what they said either.
Yeah,
Calvin went and put that new building up that.
I know.
Storage shed, that should really increase.
I know, well, even the gas station should be, an increase.
The only thing I can see business wise that would have probably gone down in value is the old Dakota Mart,
so what?
the Dakota Mart.
Yeah,
That would be the only thing I could say.
That can't be 500, 700, 1,200.
I agree.
Well, that-
I agree.
And sit.
And the red iron.
Yeah, I just,
what value,
I'm sure
Maureen,
maybe
do
they
you
didn't-
have on
it didn't
that
cross.
building on Main Street? What value do they put?
On my bank,
Yeah,
120, wasn't it?
yeah. Let's grab it.
Something,
24, I thought.
125, 2. It
125.
went up from 104 to 125, 125, 2.
and on my shop, my main shop, they took that value from 230,000 to 240,500. So it's $10,500 in value.
Yep.
That went up, but that only went up 15.77%. So I mean,
Yeah. Combined, but your city portion went up 20%.
yeah, if you take that there, yeah.
Yep, it went from 35.60 to 42.94, which is a
Yep.
$727 increase,
Yeah,
which is 20%.
20%.
And you went up 10.5 on your value.
That's where they're coming up with this extra funds,
Yeah.
because of your property value went up.
yeah, but
No. And it's not-
the thing is, the city of Good Thunder only asked for so much money,
Yep.
and the pot is still the same price.
Right.
So if yours and yours went up, somebody's had to go down,
It is, and I do.
because the total that everybody pays is that 391, 278. That's just the way it is.
You know, that, I was thinking that guy that's building those buildings up at the shop, he wants to have 3 of them. But stuff like this, will that deter him to build more? Because there's gonna be quite a great value on them,
I don't know.
So we got an individual that's gonna come and build 3 nice commercial grade buildings to rent out, but will that deter him to build anything else?
Yeah,
And I mean,
But I'm
can
not-
Blue Ridge County answer that question for him?
I don't know how to fix that though. I mean, I guess maybe that'd be a question to ask them. What decreased in value in town to offset as much as the increase that you're talking about? When I looked at mine, I thought, well, it went up $12 and I thought, well, okay,
Yeah.
that's okay, you know? And I expected.
To build my garage, next
You
year's
know.
gonna be worse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really, you know, it could be if other property values decrease,
Mhm,
you know?
mhm.
Did you happen to do the elevator, Maureen?
I did, yep. The elevator is at. Okay, their value went up by 34,600, which is just a 5% increase on value. And their city portion went up by 21%. Went up $2,352 overall. 14.78%
Yeah.
increase for them.
Wow.
You know, I don't know how to explain that either, other than, as I've said. The pot never changed.
See what your house went up?
Actually, 2 years ago.
Pay attention to it. I saw the dollar amount was
Never changed.
quite significant.
Yeah,
That was
they've
passed.
gone up this significant amount.
Cause I mean, my house, that's very reasonable. I think that, yeah, that's my house. That's very reasonable.
Well, yeah, let's see,
But that there were no $160, I think I figured.
yeah,
$150.
100, whatever, yeah,
Yeah.
50, 60 bucks. To me, though, I'm surprised that went up that much there too, but that's probably percent wise, just like mine. Well, mine went up at $12, but your valuation is so much higher, you know, than mine, so.
I just said.
Well, it went down.
Everybody was talking.
But still,
75 down to 310.
yeah, that's still a lot higher than mine,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but I'm.
So the rate applied to your valuation is much
You don't make
more
it.
than.
My address, and it was like a
But-
half folded paper with my name and address, but
Somewheres, there have been properties that really went down in tax
Right.
or grew.
Housing.
So did you ever meet with the county once already then? And they're pretty stern on this then?
This year I've just been on the phone, but probably, 4 or 5 years ago. I went down there and we were just a spinning.
kind of like we're doing now.
Nobody could answer
Mhm.
Yeah,
the question.
But we
Nobody
won't.
really had. Nobody can answer it.
That's the problem.
It just floors me how they can do that.
So how about any other area towns? Did you do any similar at all?
I didn't know. I suppose maybe here would be Vernon, Amboy,
And boy, yeah.
Mapleton, I really,
They're not comparable. They're-
No,
But
so I mean, I probably could look into that.
St. Clair would be,
Any good?
I know that, but I was just wondering, if they're residential and their commercial had such big swings like ours do. It's frustrating when you are frugal with your money and you don't go up on a tax increase, but yet people's taxes for the city of portion is going up.
When a small city like this, and when we're trying so hard to improve and to try to get businesses to come out here. This is the kind of stuff a business person looks at.
Do you know who the main tax person is down there now at Lewis County level?
Mike, Stallberg,
You can talk to him personally.
Michael Stallberg, he was out here
When I
Is that guy without you?
transferred to different people. When was he out here?
for elections.
The voting, yeah.
Yep, he was explaining the election process. He's the property and environmental manager.
God, did I sleep through that? That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
I did sleep through that. Michael still.
Oh, that was yeah, when they told us it would cost us 20 grand to get back into in-house voting, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember that either.
Last year.
Oh, I won't hold you up, but I just wanted to
That'd have been 2 years ago.
bring it to your
Yeah.
attention and.
I would try Kevin Papp,
Okay.
For the,
because he's county commissioner for Good Thunder. Vernon, and I don't know where else. See if he can point you in the right direction and then let us know, because that's a question I would like to find out an answer to myself.
Yeah, I want to find out the city portion, like how they explain how we, did the zero, but they still, I mean, as far as taxes going up, same run around. I mean, it's the same with mortgages. When people's taxes go up, if they're living paycheck to paycheck and all of a sudden that goes up a couple $100 a month.
Oh.
Now all of a sudden we have people selling their houses because they can't afford the mortgages, but,
We're losing them.
Yeah.
or losing
I
them.
get it, yeah.
Yeah, so I get the taxes part, but I'm just curious about the city part about it going up. And I know what Tom's saying with it being one big pot, but
Mhm.
could they explain like what like whose whose values went down that would make it? Everybody else's share have to go up so much?
Yeah, I mean,
Did farmland value go down? Did farmland tax go down?
That shouldn't affect us.
There's a lot of farmland in city of Good Thunder.
Is that commercial? Would that be effective commercial or?
that's it's agricultural, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Agricultural.
So that's not based as, that's completely separate from commercial then.
It is, but it's taxed at a different rate, but it's a much higher rate than residential. So, because we had to ask, once
Yeah,
before.
because that 32 4 acres up there is in there, and then some along the north edge, and I can't remember if some on the east edge is
Yeah.
in there. Well, the
Yeah.
lagoon is, that area.
Yeah,
And I can't remember if that other one on the south side of the road is in city.
I think it is. Part of it is anyway, I think. That's what I was wondering. That's a big chunk that maybe changed. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't have no idea.
Yeah, that
Compare it.
guy that Tom mentioned might be the number one to talk to.
Okay, I will do that. I'll see what I can find out. Thanks, guys.
Lewis County, you have to
Thank you.
Google him.
Yep,
Stallberger or Stallberg or something like that. His last
I think his
name.
name is signed on this voting thing
Yes, it is.
on
Oh,
the
okay.
back. I seen that already.
On the back of. You got there?
Oh, it's one of the resolutions we have in our packet.
Oh, what did you say the name was again?
Well, it's on the back of this one,
Get it for you here. Just hang on.
on the voting one.
Michael Stolberger.
Yeah, there it is.
Here's the phone number.
Okay, yep.
304
Yep.
4257.
There it is, yeah.
There's an email too.
What-
It is Stallberger.
4257.
Okay,
Grace will text it to you.
that's fine. All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you got any ideas how we can please people and citizens of Good Thunder when we go up 0%, but their taxes still go up, let us know. I don't know how you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But thanks for your input.
Unless there's more to the story.
Yeah.
There could be more to the story on a county, or state level. I don't know.
Well, maybe you'll have to stay on as an advisor.
No, I don't think so.
You can handle Blue Earth County.
Okay, anybody else with comment then and questions, concerns of zero tax increase for the city of Good Thunder? If not, then somebody want to make the motion to resolution 2024-20 or 2019 and 24-20.
I make a motion. We open up the food here.
Did I make a motion?
Yeah.
He did? Okay, I'll second.
No,
Oh,
did somebody? Did
No, I
anybody?
made a motion. We open food.
I'll make it. Resolution 2024-19 and 2024.
Okay, John made a motion, someone to second.
I'll second it.
Tom seconded, all in favor, say aye. I
I
oppose, motion carried. Then we want to make a motion to end the truth and taxation meeting.
So moved.
Someone to second. All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose. Makes a motion to reconvene our regular special regular council meeting.
So moved.
Someone second,
second,
all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're back at regular business. Approval of the minutes from November 12th special meeting and November 12th regular meeting. Additions, corrections to them at all?
I'll make a motion to Approve the minutes from the November 12th meetings as written.
I just see here, one thing, John, that, down here in this ordinance here for emergency management. It had me as there, but now, in some of this other stuff, I can't be it.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, I appoint somebody. Okay,
Oh, that's even off to do when we get back next year.
next meeting.
There, or, I don't know, current ordinances.
Okay, John, make a motion to approve both meetings. Someone to second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Approval of checks. 18,306 to 18,337 and electronic transfers of 56,767 to 56,781, and then the following payroll there of fire department and council checks. Fire department is 3776 to 3795, and council is 3796 to 3800. Any question on the bills at all? I had one there, on that ballpark there. Is that the inside ball valve?
Yeah.
Did anybody notice the cost of that? $581. They give no itemized. All they did is put a ball valve in,
I couldn't get it off of the sewer pipe right there. I don't wanna break it.
but that's all they did though.
Yeah,
$581 for one ball valve. Is it an inch or was it 3/4 or
I
half?
think it was an inch.
Yeah, wow. That's kind of very high priced plumbing.
I've never heard of Babe plumbing there.
Pardon?
I've never heard of Babe plumbing.
I've seen it driving around. What was the other one, leaking or didn't shut off or what?
Both.
How's snowplow now then? Has he got everything fixed up on it then?
We didn't get everything shored up on it yet, but, the cylinder that he replaced, it holds now. Last year when I was using that, it stopped. It needed a new cylinder, wouldn't hold pressure on the one side anymore. Then he made a little, bracket or kind of a lever from the spinner on the sander shade level. That was missing.
How did you do that when you raised the box? How did
There's
you-
like if you get the geometry right, it's just a bar with two holes in it, and as it raises up, I don't know, if you get the geometry right on it, worked. When I used it this past, when I plowed on, was it last week sometime, it worked great, so.
Did he put the speed sensor on the end of the auger at all so you can slow down the auger?
No, but I went into the controller and I was able to tune it down.
Yeah, but that one piece was broke there that's on the end of the auger.
It wasn't, we haven't been able to find that anywhere. I brought that to Christie and they couldn't find,
Really?
yeah.
Uh,
Because the sander's 30 years old. I don't have the part anymore.
all right, anybody else with questions on bills? If not, somebody make a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the bills.
Someone a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Community comment? Anybody with concerns, issues?
Last chance for you to make a community comment. Then you'll be on. Then he'll take your place.
Yeah.
I guess we can move on to Sheriff's Department. We had 55 hours of direct patrol, juvenile nuisance, disturbance, suspicious vehicle welfare check, trespassing, HRO, assist fire department and ambulance. Fire department had 6 calls, 5 medical, 1 lift assist. Fire department received a $4,000 grant for emergency response equipment. Santa will be in Good Thunder December 14th from 12:30 to 1. Increase in the Good Thunder Fireman Relief Annual Benefit from 2,200 per to 2,500 per vested and eligible member. We have a list of them, right?
We have.
Any discussion on that, or somebody want to make a motion to prove that is? How long does it take to get vested?
Full invested, I think it's,
20 years.
well, yeah, full.
Investment is 20.
But I mean, when a new guy starts, when does he start getting?
I
think it's 5.
think it's, I'm not sure, but I think it's 5.
Then it's percentage and then.
Nobody with any questions in there? Somebody want to make a motion then to approve that from 2,200 to 2,500?
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
John made a motion, someone second,
No, second.
all in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Street update from Race.
I just, with the water meters on there, I just wanted to kind of get that onto the record, because when we got the new system, there's a lot of people around town that were kind of confused to why we upgraded to what we did. The main reason obviously is that our reader was outdated. But with this new system, we were able to gain a lot of features like the alarm codes that they told us about when they were doing all their presentations. I just wanted to say, as a result of that switch, the codes have worked out great. We've caught, I think, 7 or 8 or 9 leaks inside houses. Some of them have been leaks. We managed to catch 2 in the parsonage, so no one's been living there. So those are 2 things that, they happen right at the beginning of a billing cycle, and no one's gonna know that their water heater valve rusted out or that their toilet was running. We just had another toilet 2 weeks ago, or whenever the week of Thanksgiving was. The family is actually down in Florida, and when I went to do the route, showed up as a leak code, and I can go to a house individually that has a code, and I can pull a log. I can see the last either 450 days, or I can see the last basically quarter, hour by hour. So with that, you can tell if it's a consistent amount, that it's probably not a water heater or water softener that keeps regenning in the night or something like that. So, as a result of that, we're able to save some residents a lot of money on things that they might not have either A, known were going on, or B, had any. Like I said, that family is in Florida. Their toilet was using like 5,000 gallons a day.
It was excessive.
So something like that, being able to get in there and get that shut off for them so they don't come back with however long they've been gone. They got 20,000 gallons or 30,000 gallons used on the toilet that just started randomly leaking. So I just wanted to put that into the record that it's been, I think, really, really beneficial to the people that we've been able to catch and prevent, their bills from getting really high off of this. So.
God forbid the day you miss one. I thought the city was watching my water bill.
Right. That's the other thing on cities end too, is if people come in here complaining why, if their bill is too high, like I said, I can go back and pull. It's 450 days, or it's 3 months of hour by hour, so I can tell you exactly when.
Race went and showed me, that you can see the spikes up and down.
I can literally, if you claim you didn't use water one day, I can go and tell you used water that day or you didn't use water that day, so.
Yeah, it'll be good. You can catch that, but I hope people don't get dependent on it,
Right.
Because, do you read once a week, or what are your?
Once a week. Right now that it's colder, I'm gonna start doing twice a week. You can run a temperature report, so you can figure out, the temperature report will show you the actual water temperature inside the meter, and it'll also tell you the ambient temperature of like the room around the meter. So
Really?
yeah, your water temperature might be higher, but your ambient temperature might be 32 degrees or something.
That means the furnace is out.
Yeah, that ambient temperature is your predictor for what it's gonna be if you don't make a change. So
Is
Well,
there
you
a way
found a
to-
frozen line.
Yeah, yep.
So what time do you have invested in that to read that once or twice a week?
Oh, it's to go around town, maybe 15 minutes to do the lap and then. If I pull a day log, it goes pretty quick. The day log takes probably a minute or two to read that. If I pull an hour log, it's closer to 4 or 5 minutes, but. It's really not that much time. I think the old system when we we're going through with that was like 3 hours to read one, so.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money to upgrade it, so people should be happy that we can detect a leak in their house, but you know.
Is there a way you can set an alarm on this so that it will alarm you if there's something crazy?
It tells you.
It tells you if you read it.
When I go around and read,
No, but you have to physically go read it to find it. It'll
Yeah,
alarm
right.
you that
Yeah,
you
if
need
you-
to take
yeah.
a look. Okay.
it's only as good as the amount of times that you read, so if you're not reading often, then.
Well, there was that one system that would,
Yeah, if we had the collector on the tower, it read like, I think it read like 8 times a
Yeah.
day or 8
and it
times.
sends a signal too,
Then it went to Sue's desk.
Yeah, you know, that's no,
but we didn't do that because it
Right.
was,
the upfront cost was higher, yeah.
you know.
I just hope that this system here is adequate for the next 20 years,
Yeah.
Me too.
because otherwise, if you have to upgrade like we did there every 10, holy cow, you'll never get a paper.
Right.
You know, you'll be going backwards.
We got a main lead that'll show
Well,
up.
it's actually, we got our first on the acoustic, because we have that acoustic listening that'll listen back to the mains. When we got our training for that, there's a dashboard that shows the meters that are in high noise level. That could just necessarily mean that, not necessarily that there's a leak, but you know, the way it's listening is just based off of the vibrations that it feels through the pipe. So obviously higher vibration, something louder, so if it's just a high noise level meter, I mean, you could have someone could have a fan that's next to it that just is close enough to rattle that a little bit. On that dashboard also, there's a category that it calls meters of interest, and what that is that the system uses an algorithm to, I guess, look at, because the other thing is that the material for your service line is gonna result in different noises. So copper is gonna be whatever to plastic, which is gonna be whatever to lead or galvanize, anything like that. But this meters of interest takes whatever information that Canstrip is inputted into it. And it can pretty accurately detect a leak. So we actually got our first one, or I guess our first hit on that for a house on South Halliday that we're gonna be. When I went out there, I mean, obviously you'll never know until you dig it up and see if there's actually a leak there. But when I went out there, there's one little patch of green grass in their yard and the ground is sinking right at that spot. So I guess tomorrow we'll find out how accurate that is. I'll be curious if it is, I mean, it's a useful asset to have.
Yeah,
So,
because that's before the meter.
yep.
And the individual you contacted, that was been leaking for a long time, right? When to shut off,
When it was shut off, that's what I heard, yeah.
according to your logs.
Yeah,
I don't know what were they waiting for? Why wouldn't we fix it, 4 or 5 years ago? Why wait? Now it's gonna be winter. Of course, the ground will be thawed out a little bit around it, but thinking get by until spring.
potentially. I mean, it's hard to say if I look at the dashboard, I mean, you can see that gonna pull it up. You could pull it up and they can see what it looks like. But when I look at
Not on
the,
this one, I don't have it on this one.
that's on Google. You just go to Canstrip's website.
But that's the city's bill there,
Yes.
because there's no water going through the meter.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's right. Yep.
We're losing water there.
Yep.
Right.
yeah. As you can see it it shows you on a chart that it shows what the noise level is, and the way that they trained it, or when they did our training, they said that kind of if it's a gradual increase, that's probably more indicative of a leak rather than it spiking up a bunch. So the increase would be that as the hole is getting bigger, it's making more noise because more water is running out.
And that works on plastic line too?
Yeah,
Really? Wow.
Like I said, they got it's a whole algorithm and I couldn't tell you what all they put in it, but, I guess tomorrow we'll see. Well, I mean, if it is, like I said, if it is, then it's a good resource to have.
Wonder how many gallons Brian's pumping a day, is that down?
I have no idea.
Usually about 42, 44, 5,000.
I've never asked him.
I know with that, that toilet that did the 5,000 gallons a day. When I called him and told him about that, he did say that he noticed an increase for the last couple of days that corresponded with, the days that toilet was running, so. But
So what is that gonna cost that homeowner? For them couple days there at 10,000 gallons?
I have no idea. I mean, I can figure it out. I don't know. It's not gonna be cheap.
No, it's not,
I
no.
think, cause I think I caught it at like the second and a half day, so it was probably closer to 15 or 17,000.
Wow.
That's, like I said, that's just off those 3 days. That's not including any prior usage before or after.
Well, whatever it is, it's better than 2 months of it.
Right.
That's
Right. Or a flooded basement when they came in.
I mean, you know.
Yep.
You
I
gotta look
guess
at
if
it
I
two
was gone,
ways.
I would just shut my main water off coming into my house. If you're gone for 7 to 10 days, you know? But anyway, at least we found it with our high-tech equipment. So spending all that money wasn't in vain. It helped that individual. Have you heard much about monthly billing versus quarterly billing? Is good idea, bad idea?
I haven't heard anything. There is a letter, I think, in your packets that I'm gonna send out. I want to get
Yeah.
that out this week. And then, do you think I should send another one out in January? I thought about sending another one out in January. Just so that there's enough notice and we'll put it on our Facebook, maybe. I don't know if we can put it in the paper.
I don't know how many people actually get the messenger.
I don't know.
I would
We'll
just,
put it
I
on
would
the
just,
website, we'll put it on Facebook. I'll send out 2 more notices, one this month, one next month, and then
yeah, I think
we'll go from there.
that's fine.
Sounds good.
All right, anything else, Reese?
There's something about,
Parking signs, no parking signs.
parking signs on Willard and Graham. I just heard about this today, so I'm not super familiar with.
Yeah, that's right up there by the corner of the shop there. There's gonna be new people living in that one house and, it's always been no parking or nobody on the streets, but if they start parking vehicles everywhere, kind of tough when we're trying to make a corner to get back into the shed. So I was just wondering if for the first maybe 70, 100 feet or so, it could be no parking on each side. Do we have to, how do we make that a motion to put signs up? You know,
And it would be a council direction.
anybody got any problem with that or
Here's a diagram if anybody wants to see it, where they're actually gonna put them.
like to put?
Yes,
Post
they would like,
location.
yes.
Who is it, that business?
Pardon?
Who wants to put it to business? That wants to.
No, no, it's coming down Willard Street. Where my daughter lived.
They want the no parking signs there?
No, we do.
Oh,
so
you
they
do.
don't clutter up the intersection too bad and because there isn't much parking in the driveway, but even for snow plowing. I see the sheriff got the trailer moved.
Yep.
Yep, that was very nice of them.
He sent out emails to residents that had trailers
Yeah.
parked around.
You guys control this anyway, right? Part of your property.
Well, it was, not the more.
Okay, well, they sell
Yep,
it? Oh,
Someone buy it?
well, they're working at it.
Oh,
Part of it, it's half of it, well, I know, a third of it,
oh, no. parking.
yeah, third of it is
third
there.
of it, yeah.
No parking just in this area?
Yeah, just from
Okay.
here to there and from there to there.
Yeah.
So it'd be 100 feet one place and probably about 75 on the other.
Yeah, that road.
Cause 10's right over here, right? No, or wait,
Sherman, this is Sherman.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't see a problem, I guess.
Yeah, with that being said, then somebody want to make a motion to approve to put up, you could put the sign on one sign that's existing, you'd probably have to put one pole in. For the other one. Somebody want to make a motion then to approve two no parking signs on that stretch of Willard Street?
And it's gonna say from, the sign's gonna say.
No parking here to corner.
Here to corner, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So moved.
Someone second,
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I will abstain from that. Motion carried. Then anything else in race?
Well, that's all I have.
Anybody got a update from Brian at all? Nothing, no?
Not.
Is the fence all up down there at the,
Yeah,
By the gate, yeah.
Yep.
it is all, I
Yeah.
couldn't really see there, okay.
Yeah, it's been hard to see it. No, 'cause it's not,
Is the gate working?
yes, yeah.
Oh, good, good. That sure looks nice from the street or from the road now.
Yeah.
Brian, that's when I was talking to Brian, asking if he was gonna come today. He did want to say thank you for putting that in because he's been really happy with it, so.
Well, that'll keep the deer hunters out there next year. Which was a
Yeah.
problem for 2 years in a row. Okay, unfinished business, we have Dakota Mart, the next steps, we have another letter in our packet. What our options are.
I didn't put the letter in your packet. I just wrote what your options were.
Where's your chance to talk?
I don't need a chance to tell. I just talk. You need direction. We did, they did a discovery. The next steps are to either wait and see what the other judgments come up with. Your parents are post judgment discovery and request for disclosures. Or the city can assign it to a debt collector. Those are basically your options.
But the last leader, they never responded. Right?
No, they responded. Yeah. But no, this is the post judgment discovery. We sent a discovery, but we didn't send the post judgment one.
Is there two or three people ahead of us on this for as far as wanting the money?
I'd say I want to go with at least 3.
That's what I was thinking, at least three, yeah.
However, though, there is nobody ahead of us on what Lynn co-signed,
Right.
right? To my knowledge, there's nobody ahead of that one.
I didn't hear what you said.
There's no one ahead of us on the document that Lynn co-signed. That was between
The city
the
of Goodland.
city.
Correct, but in order to go after assets, I think then you get into that.
Well, right, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of assets.
right, yes,
Well, at least
so,
we assume there are.
yes. So Kennedy would like whatever the city decides they want to do, he would like
yeah.
the motion in the minutes, and then he will do what council suggests. Hold on.
I mean, does anybody know that the other lenders, how far they are in the process? Does anybody know anything?
Well, I think one of the judgments might have been satisfied. That was the sale of some property. I thought I saw. Maybe.
Well,
And it still gets back to that liability of that tank under the ground there. You know, who in the end, when this is all settled out, who's gonna be responsible to get that out of the ground?
The owner of the property.
Yeah, but they can't even pay debt.
Yeah.
I don't know if that, I don't think,
Whoever buys the property will have to be, the city will not be liable for that gas tank.
I don't think anybody will even, if you gave it to them, will want that property with that tank in the ground.
And it stays there.
No, can't, gotta be closed.
Until,
Within how long?
Oh, it should have been, things should have been happening already. It wasn't properly shut down, or they could have bought more time.
If it's
Now-
empty for what, 5?
Yeah,
plus
it's
years?
sat now long enough for now, it's gotta be pulled. Somebody's gotta pull it, somebody's gotta pay for that, yeah.
well, was it the EPA could come in and do it and then charge it back to the property owner?
The super fund cleans up only if it's dirty, right, Tom? If the soil's contaminated.
I don't know
super
that for
fund
sure.
Kicks in, I believe, for that. But like, Urban Oil shut down he dug his tanks out of the ground over there. Voluntarily, I think, to be able to sell the property.
Did you ask him what that?
No, I did not. No, I totally, no.
Out of curiosity.
I'm sure you're gonna spend what? 15, 20 grand to get that out of the ground?
I would guess, yeah.
Yeah. I would think.
As long as there's no contamination,
That's right. But then the super fund would help clean up that dirt.
you know.
So again, we're sitting there with a dead horse because nobody's gonna wanna try to buy it.
Somebody pointed out too, that backside of that building's crumbling away.
Oh, yeah, it's crumbling.
It
Yeah.
just-
So, I mean, wow.
Well, I guess there's one way to look at it. If we keep pursuing it and we get some money, the city could utilize that money to access the property, clean it up, and then do something with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's assuming we ever get anything.
Like
knows?
the money that was owed to the city and Blue Earth County,
Yeah.
that's kind of just dissipated, right?
Yeah, we paid it.
We paid it.
Mhm.
Yep.
The city paid for that. That's all cleaned up. I mean, we're the ones that are on the hook here now.
Yeah.
And so if we can continue, in my opinion, whatever the next step is, we should do it. And hopefully we'll get something. You know,
Better than nothing.
better than nothing, but you know.
I
you
mean,
get
if
10 grand, at least that'll go towards that project, and maybe, you know, maybe it'll be viable then, you know what I mean?
if it's not taken care of, you know, and the inside is not, heat is gonna crumble. The roof is gonna. Yep,
I'm sure that's happening already when you walk by that, the inside of the windows are all condensation's built up on them all the way around.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blight, or it really is already, you know?
Yep.
So,
did we send them a letter about cleaning up along the
Yes.
outside? Any correspondence back?
No.
No.
So to move forward, we have to do one of the next two
You
options.
have one of three options. You wait, you prepare and serve the post judgment discovery and request for disclosure, or you can assign it to a debt collector.
I don't think it does us any good to go to a debt collector.
No, absolutely not.
And there'll just be a dead end.
Yep,
I think we gotta,
they'll get paid for,
yeah,
and we'll get nothing.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
So the second option,
So second one there.
Have you had to deal with any of this, Amy, in your line of work?
no,
No?
I've always had people try and sell before they get to this point.
Okay. Yeah, I think the second option is probably the best one because wait and see, we've been waiting what already? And again, when an individual co-signs, man, that's gold.
Well, I think it is, yeah.
It should be. That's,
Assuming liability,
yeah.
Yeah, should be.
it should be.
Yeah.
So does the city pursue then going to the co-signer versus the owner of the building?
It goes to both when you do this.
That did go to both?
Yes, it did.
Okay,
And this will go to both as well.
and the co-signer, no response either?
I mean, they did the judgment, but they didn't, or they did the discovery, but they didn't do the post judgment discovery. My understanding.
Well, I think that's what we should do.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion that we have Chris prepare and serve that post judgment.
Tom made the motion, someone second,
I'll second it.
Don second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Want to keep right on going down here? This is where you can talk, Sue, about all this stuff here.
No, I wrote it down.
Well, this ordinance, administrative penalties, input from you guys, what do you think about that?
We had to do something.
So the ordinances, yeah, I mean, the ordinance that are in there are just like Kennedy came up with. There's gonna have to be more discussion, obviously, on how you guys wanna handle that. Um.
You were meeting and had meetings in other towns and they have these, a different law firm representing them. Can they get their properties cleaned up?
Some of them do. Some of them don't.
Wonder if you would say if they have a little more success than what we have to try?
Well, I think we need to be more assertive with what the council wants from the attorney.
On nuisance properties you're talking about?
Yes, yes. Because from my understanding is, like the way we have it now, is somebody goes around and then they just send the letters. From my understanding, it should be bring it to council, council decides, and then because the letters state under the direction of the council, you're getting this letter. And then if it's not cleaned up, then we can, like a lawn, we can have Race go in and mow it. And then a charge the resident, whatever that fee is.
And
Because there's a fee in our fee schedule for that.
yeah, the council are not supposed to go look at that property now.
Correct.
Yep.
Well, once it's reported, you decide what you want to do. So I think it would be like Amboy, I was just talking to Patty. And her and the city guy, they'll drive around. Check out properties, they send a letter, if it's a lawn or something, if they don't clean it up in X amount of days. They can get a fine, they can come and plead their case to the council and say, hey, you know, I need more time, they don't have a plan, if they have a plan, it's fine. As long as they fulfill their duty, and if not, then they have it mowed for them.
I mean,
I'm charged.
the mowing the lawn or whatever, that's an easy cut and dry thing, but.
Right,
But when it comes
but
to
when
like
you
the
get
personal
into
property,
personal property, then you're having to do that abatement. And going through all of those steps, and I know from past experiences here, it almost sounds like. It gets to that point and then it's just dropped. And I don't know if that's because. I don't know.
yeah,
If it's the attorney that. I don't know.
I mean, if you look at some properties, and I had lived beside that, I wouldn't want to live there either. It's just, there's one property that has a bunch of bicycles. A downed tree that's been down for what, 2 years? The next one too, it's got kids' toys laying all over the front lawn. Just put them in the back. Put the stuff in the back, you know? I don't know how people live like that. You got other ones that, you know, they're parking on their front lawn now, you know, and, riding their motorcycles, tearing up the grass, there will be no grass. I mean, how do you put an end to some of this? When the motorcycles are riding on Sunday afternoon, tearing up and down, the neighbors don't like the noise. Well, number one, the parents would say, well, you're tearing up the lawn. I don't think they care.
the front lawn or the back lawn.
All of it, all about. Oh, and that's not very far from town.
Motorcycles shouldn't be allowed in the city limits.
Well, they shouldn't be tearing up the yard.
It's no whatever, it's a nuisance, that's not a.
Yeah, we got a group of about 3 little guys that, well, they're probably 16 now that are on nice days rolling around on their motorcycles, and there's 3-wheelers and whatever they can make run. And, they never get caught at it, so. I don't know, it's frustrating.
Yeah, how do you catch it? That's. I mean, like if you call the cops, they're obviously gone,
Yep,
but will the cops take pictures or, you know, video or?
I don't know.
I was always told just to keep calling every time you see them, whether they're there when the cop comes or not. And I've actually had a couple conversations with some of these individuals. And it seemed to get better this summer at where I live. But now, one night we were coming home and it was dark and we almost hit 3 of them because there were no lights. You turned the corner and they're right there. They're not stopping. So, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it.
And if somebody hits them, it's gonna be the driver's
Exactly.
unattentive driving.
Sitting there 55 hours of Blue Earth County policing,
Mhm.
well, keep calling, they're gonna have to be here to. do
And that's
their-
it. The more paper trail we can give, the more times they call and the more we can call. Eventually they are, because they know where these individuals live.
Yeah. And eventually, I mean, if somebody has a log of when they're doing stuff, then the cops can start to see a pattern too, like, oh, if I'm here at this time or
Right.
this place. Yeah, I mean, I know there's probably some tolerance that you have to deal with and,
There's one day I watched 3 of them rip down the county road and the sheriff came right behind them and just did their thing and he just kept.
We have to have conversation with our Blue Earth County liaison and. I met him the other day, he actually stopped at my house, I was kind of surprised. Wanted to introduce himself and we talked quite a bit.
Well, I don't know, again, those nuisance properties, the poor individuals, they gotta live next to them.
well, so like, do we start one by one? I mean, sometimes, like, if we take on, if, it seems like if we talk about like 10 properties, then we kind of just give up, but should we just, you know, prioritize them and start dealing with them or?
We have to have a process to deal with them is where we're at. Because the process we have right now is not working.
And somewhere in here, I read that Tom was mentioning about maybe having curbside pickup once a month. Well, maybe not during the winter time, but from April to October, is that something that would be
Beneficial to.
beneficial to the property owners that, hey, they know they can set this out and get rid of it?
I think it would help.
Yeah.
If nothing else, at least then that could be included in the court proceedings when you go abate. You know, that could be part of it, saying that the city provides free pickup at your curbside. And you don't take advantage of it. And that's why we had to go do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be,
So, I
yeah,
mean, I think that'd be money well spent and it would help everybody too. I think everybody in town would appreciate it.
No, I do like that idea,
Yeah.
but not in the winter time.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, not in the winter time.
So it's a different entity though for a licensed vehicle, correct, compared to personal property?
Right, we can't go in and take anybody's personal property.
Well, if they have a junk car sitting there with expired tabs and.
That we can report to the sheriff's office.
That should be able to be towed at their expense.
If it's
If
on
they
the,
don't wanna pay it, you put it on their property taxes, they gotta pay it.
if it's on the street, it can be towed. If it's on their property, I don't think they can go in and just,
Even if the
Confiscate.
city ordinance has something on there that you can't have.
No, because we've got that camper sitting out there we can't touch.
we can't touch personal property. So if
Okay.
it's on, my house, if I have an old, whatever, city has no right to come onto anybody's property.
it doesn't have to be currently licensed.
I think it would.
For the ordinance,
Yeah,
it has to be a licensed.
Yeah.
It has to be licensed.
like that camper, we have no options.
That's the license.
It can be towed, but then city's got to pay the towing and the storage for X amount. It's like that abatement process.
But would the individual ever sign it over to the city?
I don't know.
We talked about that last month. You got $100 bill in your pocket?
Well, that's right.
Yep,
Yeah,
there.
I forgot my wallet.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's right, we did.
yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
I mean,
I said, yeah, I got one. You got one?
yeah. I mean, we just keep running into these roadblocks where it's like we don't think we're doing our job and,
When I talked to him, he said that he's got experience with it. Well, he was a Good Thunder cop at one time. He was
yeah,
Mapleton. cop.
Mapleton, yeah,
He talked about how they've handled stuff over there.
yeah.
They've got stuff in storage almost 2 years.
Mhm.
I asked him that.
And And the same problem house is starting to look when they cleaned it up.
If they have that story.
Tom is enjoying, you guys want something down here in the?
Property tax. They gotta pay that. It's different than getting just a bill. You assess it to their property tax, they have to pay that.
In about 8 years they do.
You want some meat?
Yeah.
$3 a month or $3 a year for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Whether that works. Too, I have to figure out that. So maybe it's worth it having him come to one of our meetings.
Yeah, explain
And-
his experience.
Or maybe an ordinance meeting or something.
That would be
Yes.
good.
Scott?
There's crackers there too. Crackers.
So we always attempt to try to fix these, but we always get stalled out. Or we just,
Well, the reason we do get stalled out is because there's always that threat of it costing the city money. I think we gotta get past that.
Mhm.
We just have to get past that threat.
you gotta,
Just gotta find out.
You gotta spend some money.
The city can be put on their city property taxes.
Yep.
Still gonna get to them, at least then you have
Eventually,
a
yeah.
little bit of power maybe to go after them.
Yeah.
If they can't do it on self-pride, I guess hurt them on their property taxes.
well, like
Pocketbook.
last month, we talked about the stuff around the Dakota Mart, you know. Well, there's a lot of stuff in it. Well, if you just pick up what's on the outside and put it inside, at least the outside will look neat. But we sent a letter, but nothing happened.
'Cause there's no-
So,
Well, and then the environmental aspect part of it, aren't the old gas pumps still sitting back there?
absolutely, yep,
That's ridiculous.
yeah.
Should not have been able to sit there that long.
No, they should just be hauled 5 miles to the east and turned in for cash. Yeah, I mean, we stall out every time we try. And like Tom says, yeah, we gotta get to the point where, is somebody gonna sue us for trying to do anything?
I mean, that's just it. We have to just do it. Get the attorney, pay the attorney to send a letter in a legal way, however many it takes, 2, 3, 10, whatever it takes.
With teeth in it, like you said.
And at a drop dead date, we go to the back of the Dakota Mart or whatever and load up and take it away. It's
Mhm.
gone. That's just the way it is.
So is that something that we want to have, instead of me sending the letters, maybe we want to hand some of those over to Kennedy and just let him take it, you know what I'm saying?
Well, if that's what it takes, I think that's what it's gonna take.
I think so.
Yeah.
We've already tried
I
the,
mean, I've been sending letters and I know.
Yeah.
I had gotten a letter or two since I've lived here. And I've heard it's like the joke in town when I first moved here.
The letters,
Mhm.
because nothing happens.
That's right.
That's
They
right.
send a letter and another year you'll get another letter.
Yeah. So I think, let's get the directive from the lawyer.
And
A little more
just make it
to that.
happen. Just make it happen, not direction. Just, let's do this.
Yeah.
All the time we spent going through the codes and everything before, I mean, we've all, a few of us
Mhm.
put quite a bit of time into that. Trying to read through them, trying to make something happen out of it. Like to see that picked up again. And I don't know who we have to take it into to find out what teeth we can put into that. Otherwise, you're throwing them into the wind and watching them fly away. That's.
Yeah, and if Chris can develop a letter, Ethan, to send to this person that we're talking about, then give us the ordinance example that it will work. Get it passed, and then the next time we'll be able to do it. You know, rather than, we just keep going around and around and back and forth and back and forth. We're not lawyers, you know,
Mhm.
so.
Each year we talk about it, each year it's shrugged off.
So can you make a motion to have him draft up those letters? Because I know when last time I talked to him, he liked some of the stuff in
Motion for him.
motions, in the minutes, just for documentation purposes.
I'll make a motion.
So
Tom made that motion, someone a second?
What is the motion for to have Kennedy draft a letter? Are we talking a specific property right now?
No, I think you should do citywide.
Well, I'm talking
Just
about
in
the
general.
ones that we've got, that you've sent letters to already,
yep,
Yep,
that are problems.
there's like 3 or 4, I think,
Yeah.
that we've been dealing with
Repeated problem
repetitively.
every year.
Yep.
Those are the ones that have been brought to us verbally in council meetings many times.
Seems
And-
like they do a little bit and then you start the whole process over.
Yeah.
And I've just noticed that, it's like, well, that one looks a little better now,
Well, it's good.
and I'm like, So, yeah,
Well, he should put something together that's legal and binding.
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that has a little, because, and then it comes from him
Yeah.
to the resident,
Yeah.
it doesn't come from the city, it comes to him. Or from him.
Well, it'll be
Statutes or county
good stuff in the
statutes.
city, but yeah,
Pardon me?
Cookies are good too.
What did
I
you say,
mean,
Tom?
it'll be from the city.
Yeah, but it would be
It's
his
city- it's a
letter.
City action, but
Yeah.
it's not signed by you.
She goes, yeah.
Correct. These, are really.
Sorry,
good
Ray,
too.
if you could just pass.
No,
it
it's
down.
okay. City action.
Thanks.
There's only, that's the only way you're gonna get it asphalt and you know? Because, you know, you've taken already and to Chris, what we've talked about in those meetings. And then he's coming back with more, you know?
Mhm.
Let's just end that. Let's just make a motion that we want to get this cleaned up. Get a letter made that will make that happen. If we can't by our ordinances make that happen, give us the ordinance that it will make it happen. Then we can go 3 months from now, after we have do the notice and all that in the paper to get our ordinance changed, we'll be able to do it come spring. And if we can do it now, we can get it going now, you know, and it's done. Yes, it's going to cost a couple grand, but that's just the way it is, you know?
Yeah, sometimes there's a hang up on the city paying money, but I think like, the city people are, you know, there's some stuff that the city people are willing, like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
our tax, that's what we do on our tax
Yeah,
dollars.
I think so too. I agree with you 100%.
You want to protect your investment in your property.
Mhm.
So along with that, if we chose to have curbside pickups day starting April 1st. What, once a month,
Once, whatever you guys decide, yeah.
whatever, once a month,
I think we need to get pricing from LJP or whoever we're gonna have do that.
I have been playing phone tag with Jesse for the past 3 weeks,
But
so.
if it's cost effective to do it, you know, once a month, then we can do it once a month, you know, and probably also depends on how much people put out too, I would
We could do
assume.
it every other month too.
Mhm.
You know, and if, yeah. and-
or maybe the first 2 or 3 months in a row.
And maybe the last three and.
A couple on the end of the
Give them some
year.
time.
At least,
Accumulate some more.
at least schedule a spring one and
Yeah.
see what's
Yep.
out. And then maybe you won't have to do it the next month. Maybe you can wait a month or whatever, and then do a fall one or something like that, you know, but you can kind of decide as it flies.
Well, and if we could bring back the curbside for the spring cleanup, which is what I left my message to Jesse about.
Yeah.
That we wanted that back.
That's more successful.
Mm.
Oh.
And then
it's a
maybe
whole
we only
different-
need to do it a couple more times.
They come to you to pick it up, they're gonna
Yeah.
Yeah,
at least get it to the curb.
yep.
Getting it to the ball field is
Yeah.
hard for some people.
Well, I said, I'm not going to do that. I'll throw stuff out on the curb, but I'm not going to drive my stuff down there. If I have the ability to drive my stuff down there, I have the ability to drive it to,
Landfill.
so, yeah, I mean, when it was
But
curb
I can go
pickup,
down there without leaving town.
exactly, when it
So
was
I'm just
curb
gonna drive
pickup,
Down there, I mean.
I would throw stuff out.
There's people, yeah, that don't have the ability to throw it in a truck and haul it down there.
I don't have that. The thing is, it's not the
Right.
cost of it to the community. I don't understand why.
Even with the
people don't
ability, I
do
was
that,
like,
because
do
you can
it?
take a half
Yeah.
pickup full down to the landfill.
A
$7.
curb? I would
And
definitely.
it don't cost that.
It's nothing. It
No, I
don't
did
cost
that, yeah,
anything,
yep.
you know? I mean, it's just.
You just gotta dump it out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I guess we need to keep calling them people and we need to set that up and just so we can say, come spring, we will be returning to curbside pickup.
You know,
Make it more viable for you individuals or citizens of Good Thunder to clean up your property.
I think a lot of people would be happy with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, I would think we'd want to maybe do it 3 times.
I think it would hurt.
I don't think so either. Try it,
Yeah.
you know?
And even if you get some stuff you don't really want, big deal. At least you got it out of town,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Getting back to the letter, Tom made the motion. Did anybody second it?
I'll second it.
John did. All in favor, say aye.
Um,
I oppose, motion carried.
Where are we at? City park agreement?
No what?
Where are we at? City park agreement? The next-
Actually, you missed, you go back to the agenda, Robert,
Yeah,
underneath the Dakota Mart, you have the employee raises.
yep, I haven't left unfinished yet, so.
Oh, I
I
thought
was
we,
just going down this emergency, this one here. For next month, when we start.
Oh,
set
you
up
were on
for the
that.
New year. We can name somebody as emergency management management director, as it says.
It does default. I talked to Patty and Amboy. It defaults to the mayor if it has not been appointed.
I thought
So you
it's-
don't, I know,
Kennedy's letter said I can't be it.
I know. But according to the other cities that I checked, it defaults, or it's the fire chief. Or it defaults to the mayor if it has not been appointed.
See, that's the way, that's the way it's always been
Yeah.
here, is that
Yep,
defaulted to
it
the mayor,
defaulted to Robert, yep, or to the mayor, yep,
whoever the mayor is. yeah.
yep, yep.
Been that way for
So,
30 years.
yep,
Okay, well then, we'll work at that. Cannabis ordinance.
I put that in an addition tonight. I put it out there and it's just something for you guys to review. We'll look at it next year. But you asked me to get something put together, so I had Kennedy draft that. I'll get you a copy of it. And you can, I think the city needs to do something with that.
But that can be all done at the same time as if we have to
Right,
do.
do all the
this
ordinances
other-
together, yep.
yeah.
How does that work if the state is gonna allow it? Can the city? Is this for selling cannabis products in town?
Selling it, growing it, whatever, yep.
Yeah.
Ordinance, yep.
So would you have different guidelines in the state or do you just follow state?
Well, I mean,
This is-
we can decide whether, how far away from the school it has to be,
Oh, okay.
how far away from.
Well, we don't
this-
have a school.
This
And that's-
school,
That's in
Bus
that ordinance,
stops,
yeah.
you
How
know.
far from daycares,
Yeah.
churches, any parks,
Okay,
things like that. How many you can have in your town.
right,
Some, like, I know in that ordinance, he's got it limited to 2, but you can limit it to 1.
yeah, I see Mankato's limited to theirs to what, 3, 4, something like that?
4.
So,
Personally, I can't see this coming to Good Thunder,
Not more than 1.
not more than one. I mean, the only place business wise would be Maureen's bank building, but there's a lot of other questions in here, because this is a lot of gobbledygook for,
Mhm.
that doesn't say a lot. To me anyway, but like, what if we get somebody who wants to do a grow in their house, I think this one we need to have Kennedy here to.
That's all state, but I think you can, as an individual person, you can have some in your house.
I think you can
you
too.
Up to a certain
Up to a
amount.
certain amount, and I don't know, but
I thought according to the state, it was 4
you can have 4 in your house?
plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well,
well,
the thing is, you can't say it can't happen,
No.
because look at Nicollet with the nudie bar.
yeah,
You know, it probably couldn't have happened there, but here this big outfit come in there and
yep.
you
That,
never know.
that hit a lot of small towns back then. And then we put that in our ordinance as adult entertainment.
Oh,
We adapted that. So, yeah. Something we'll have to work on this then too, in the
Yes.
new year.
yep.
I think we need Kennedy.
Is that all right with everybody? All right,
That was just more, for, information.
yep, all right. Then on the finished business, employee raise. John and I, we met and reviewed some stuff. John, do you want to take it from there?
Yeah, so we are gonna do raises for both race and,
So.
thank you.
Troublemaker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long day already. Sue for 2%, race for 1.5. And then do we need motion to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, and effective October 1st,
Cause that's when we talked about it. That
Right.
meeting was it?
right?
Yeah, or retroactive.
Retroactive October 1.
Any discussion on that? If that's all right with everybody, somebody make a motion to approve? Someone to second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. City park agreement or ordinance review update, that's what we were already talking about, city park agreement.
Yeah, we got the signed agreement back from the Catholic Church. So that's all good to go for another 15 years.
Good.
So that's all that is.
Okay, new business, we got Minnesota waste processing price increase,
Yeah, that should be in your packet that it.
that's right here. What does it come out to be per
The total of 3.1.
3.1, yeah? $3.56 per ton. The tipping fee is 118. So what would this be per household that we'd have to go up to? Do we have to raise ours a little bit?
We already raised ours.
Yeah.
We did
So-
raise our sum.
We raised.
Are we gonna be enough to cover this then?
Percent, we should be,
Cause once in a while we were falling short.
Yeah.
right.
That's
the
why we
garbage.
raised that.
Yeah, that's a couple of years.
I think maybe you can wait and see how it falls
Well-
out.
We can review it like
Yeah.
mid-year or something to see where it's at, but
Cause like cleanup and all that, that comes out of
that comes out of a different pot.
Yeah.
General fund, right?
general fund, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Enough discussion on that. We can go to updated ESST to include bereavement.
Bereavement, yeah. That's the yellow, the red portion in them. Just know that it includes the funerals.
Anybody else got any questions on it? If not, do we have to have a motion on that too, probably?
Yes.
Somebody make a motion to update that ESST?
I'll make a motion to include the bereavement leave.
John made a motion, someone a second.
Second.
Tom second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Letters to monthly, we already discussed that. We had a copy of it on our thing, cannabis ordinance, we already talked about that. Blue Earth County election amendment number 1 voter account agreement.
Regarding the cost share. For the elections. And I need to have those back by the end of December. I have to get those back to the county.
There was nothing that really changed on these, right? These are just,
It's just a different formula they're using. Yeah. And then it gives them the ability to change it if they need to.
okay.
Us as a city, would we ever go back to voting here in the council rooms? Anybody got thoughts about that?
Well, to be honest with you, I wonder. If that could come nationally,
That's right.
that could happen. That's something that could happen.
That's because they really are against this mail-in voting. And I mean, myself, I thought it was handy, because if you wouldn't have to be there that day, they're done. But there's no, you can also go to the courthouse and probably have it done yet. But
Yep.
myself, I think it will come back to being locally.
I hope it does. I mean.
I do, yeah,
I
and
think.
kind of reality after not this past one, but the one before,
Yeah.
that election there. There was a lot of stuff went on that should never happen.
Yeah.
So I mean, that guy, that's Stollenberger, or whatever you name,
Yeah.
I thought he said us 2 years ago, Tom, that would cost us 20 grand to
Yeah.
get back into the having our own.
Cause you need that reader thing or.
But I mean, if it comes as a mandate from from the national,
Federally.
I mean, it could be different.
Yeah.
too,
There could be funding for it then too.
I would sure not ever count that out.
I
Coming
wouldn't
back.
either.
I think it would be, for security reasons, I think it's better off in-house voting again. So, does it mention anything in all this? Doesn't say anything about any of that, right?
No,
No, I read some of it, like.
Yeah, that's painful.
Yeah,
It's painful reading.
it is.
It's painful.
Yeah.
sit through the classes sometime.
Anyway, we gotta pass that, we gotta make a motion or something.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Right,
for the resolutions, yep.
I'll make a motion.
There isn't no numbers to them, just,
Nope, these are the counties, so I don't have numbers on them.
okay. Tom made a motion, someone in second,
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carried. All right. Miscellaneous business, anybody else under new business? Anybody? Miscellaneous. business is clerk's mileage, which we had in here too. Anybody questions on that? If not, somebody make a motion to approve mileage for Sue for the month of October and November and 1 December.
So move.
Tom made a motion, someone second? John second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Paulette Nelson has always been taking care of that. Flowers down there,
Yeah.
and we always give her a little something, and then. Winters, Jay Winters, he's always been owing. What there through the cemetery on both sides there. I guess Ron Call told me today, we've been getting him something for maintaining that. You remember
I
that?
don't remember that.
I don't either.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Paulette, we always got her
We
something.
gave her a gift certificate or something.
Yep.
Yep.
Jay's mowing that out their way. Is that something we should do there? Or, I don't recall we're doing that.
That I have no idea. Which cemetery we're talking about? The one out on,
Going north by Jay's house, he's kind of keeps that go down out there. I guess.
There's been no record of it. Probably not legal if there's been no record of it.
I don't believe that. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think we ever did. No, it was always, but Paulette, that's, yes, we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. And is there anybody else
Yeah,
that
there's
we have
nobody else
to,
that we should recognize. I don't know.
because of their individual helping? Beautifying or whatever.
Tom Bruns and Jen was helping Paulette take care of them. Flower boxes.
Well, yeah, they had
There's a
a
handful.
handful of people that, you know, but
I think Vicky was helping too, and
Paulette, she was the one down there in that corner by that monument that kept that all up and.
And she purchases them all too. She does all the work on getting the flowers. I mean,
Yeah.
she's reimbursed for it, obviously.
Reimbursed, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
she goes through all the work of doing it.
so at this time, does somebody want to make, what kind of,
Like a $50 certificate at the cafe or something.
whatever, yep.
I so move
Where?
at the cafe.
For who? For Paulette?
Paulette.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
You said that motion?
Yeah, I said.
All right, Tom made a motion, someone a second,
second.
Amy second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I oppose, motion carried. All right, anything else then under unfinished business? Or miscellaneous business? We have one more thing here. Sue?
Me?
No, just get that part.
You want the cookies back, Grace?
Good.
You want one more?
Now if you just take a moment.
Nobody else? Yeah, that's actually.
pepper.
those are like my favorite Christmas cookies.
Really good.
You want a cookie?
Pepper.
Are you sure?
Dicks.
You want a
Yeah,
cookie?
good.
Bob?
Jim?
I'm sorry. Not too bad. That's not an insult. That's a compliment.
Well. After 29 or 30 or 28 and a half or whatever years there is, we got a little plaque for Tom Freilich here tonight. Recognize what he's done, his commitment for the city of Good Thunder. And it's time, and next year and the year, you'll still have more time. So at this time, Tom, we'd like to thank you very much for all of your commitment and your dedication to the city of Good Thunder.
Thank you very much.
Because you are our math wizard, which I think we got a good one down there coming on. And you contributed an awful lot to the city for all the years
Wow,
you've served
thank
here.
you. I appreciate that.
So
A
on
lot.
behalf of the city and the council, thank you
All right,
very much.
Pitcher. Thank you.
Put the clock out. There you go.
There, okay. There you go. All right, good job. Thank you very much. Yeah, being on council, you're on a long time, like it's addicting. You're almost
It does.
addicted to it.
Well,
Does?
yeah,
You gotta give it another 10 years.
Okay.
Almost addicted to it because there's something thrilling about the whole thing, you know, I mean, sometimes it's really a pain in the butt, but.
You mean like the last year and a half?
Well, yeah,
But no, otherwise, again, like I told you, you know, I was gonna be done too, but you kind of said we shouldn't both quit in the same year.
Mhm.
So, you know, so I thought I'll stay for 2 more years and you look forward to it. It's something, you know, you can,
it is.
It's a good service.
you pride yourself on it, you know? I mean, Tom and I came into this thing, the city only had probably about anywhere from 50 to $75,000 worth.
Yeah.
Now I see, you know, we've had a few years, we've spent a lot of money. We had 1.5, right?
Yeah.
At the
Mhm.
time,
Yeah.
but now we're down to about 1.2 and, you know, but we spent a lot of money on sewer. A lot of projects we have done. We've still, in 30 years, saved a lot of money
Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
made the town.
And did a lot of
Viable.
projects too.
Right.
Did a lot of projects too.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to consider, you kept the fire department going and
Yep.
you know, all the city services going, all that, you know, and we got the sheriff's department now.
It's just like going down the lagoon, putting a generator in there now, putting that treatment in there. Now, we're good now for a long time,
Yeah.
you know? And we're still continuing on I to make it better, you know, to be able to handle the water. So over the last 30 years, there's been a lot of things that have made improvements. Except for cleaning up property.
Yeah.
So again, Tom, Frederick, thank you very much for all your,
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
yep.
Thank you.
I'm sure it can be a thankless job, but
Mhm.
Sometimes. but
yeah.
It's usually not too bad.
But you're still gonna be welcome back for special committees and anytime you've got spare time on your hands.
You never know.
How about grant writing? You were done a very successful job at that when you were on the fire department. I mean,
And I know it's a whole lot different now.
is it?
Yeah, they talked to me a little bit about that and it's quite a lot different now.
Really?
They really dig into the city's finances and stuff like that now, where they didn't before, and so.
And that harms us. If we would be broke. With no
Might get more
money,
grant.
you'd get more grants.
Mhm.
Yep.
You could, it might be.
Yeah.
The advantage of having money though is that it gives you the freedom to write a grant. Because the match, you know, you have,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to like.
Yeah, that's very true.
$25,000, is the city gonna come up with 25? Well, of course they can. You know, in order to get $250,000, yeah, 25 grand, it's nothing, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But-
But even having that money on hand when it's time to put a gate
Yeah.
down the lagoon, put all that treatment in, we probably got what? We're gonna have 25, 30,000 in
At
that.
least.
Oh, I think we're over that.
Yeah. So, you know, we have that money in the bank that we don't have to, oh God, we gotta go out and bond for this money because we can't put a gate in.
Mhm.
So, you know, we've always had a cash reserve that we've been very frugal in keeping and we have no bonds right now to beat.
Hmm.
We are debt free as of what, 2 years ago already?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so.
But I mean, you know, if they come along and we need to replace it going down Holiday, no,
Mhm.
Holiday,
Yeah.
you know? That might be what we'll have to do to make it right, so.
Well, when I first got on, I took Kathy Hanson's place. And she took me aside and she says, don't you ever let the city get in a position again where they have no money.
Yeah,
'Cause she went through that where they had no money,
no,
you know, none, so.
no.
Wow.
I'd say it was anywhere from 50 to 75,000. Is all they had.
In the positions.
Well, I mean, that was in the reserve,
Oh, okay.
you know, they had their operating money, but
Yeah,
as far as like our 1.2 or whatever. Might have been $75,000.
you couldn't decide to do anything.
No,
I mean, you know, you couldn't do anything.
Be proud of them.
yeah. So, yep. This may be your last meeting, Tom, unless we want to do some ordinance stuff here.
Well,
You'll be here January.
Why I'm here tonight.
Yeah, we'll be
See
setting
how it
up
works.
our two bank committees in January, you know, and
There's a litany in there,
anything we can improve upon then, you know,
There's a what in there?
a litany of things we have to do
Oh.
that first.
so. All right, well, if there's nothing else, Tom, do you want to make your last motion?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
All right, someone to second?
I'll second.
John second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Motion carried. Thanks, everybody.